All right. Hey, YouTube. So Chaplain here, coming to you. I know it's been quite some time. I'm not really expecting anyone to hop on this video. If you do, great. If not, I completely understand. Just a quick heads up. I do not have my laptop here, hence no music, hence no feedback if you are to comment. I just wanted to come at you real quick with a recap of the tournament that happened in St. Louis just a few weeks ago. It seems like just yesterday, but in fact it was 2 weeks ago that we wrapped up BBR St. Louis tournament with a huge victory for some relatively new players. And I say that because first and third place went to guys that have less than 15 games of BBR under their belt. So before I discuss, the prizes and the thank yous and all that good stuff, and just as a reminder, again, I don't have my laptop, so I can't really respond to anything. I can view the chat, I think. Nope, I can turn it off or on. That's it. So I can type chat messages, but I can't read the chat. So if you are chatting with me, just know that I can't recap, or I can't look at it. So here is the banner that I had made up for the tournament, and it was really handy to have it here, and not here in my basement, but what I did was I paired everyone up. You guys watched that video, and then we just went from there. And so what you see here is X and A for Axis and Allies. In this game in particular, the Axis got 6, the Allies got 20, and so they advanced. Day 2 was very much the same, or similar rather, to day 1, but it was paired up by points. And so Mad Moose Disease ended up playing against Lieutenant Generals into Corpo. Bad Religion played against Firehouse D. Midwest Command played against the Maverick Marauders. Two Crappy Misfits played against Wild West. And so those were our day 1 and day 2. Now, day 1 was super eventful. I don't really feel like there was much of a mismatch. You look at this game here. Two Crappy Misfits were Greg and CJ, and they didn't even have a BBR map to practice on, you guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now. But they walked away with an 8-point game against the Lieutenant Generals and Corpo, which was Lieutenant Dan, General Fund, and Corpo. And then you see a game like Firehouse D over Midwest Command. Again, these Allies players, Two Crappy Misfits, they didn't even have a map to practice on. Midwest Command, I don't know if they had maps to practice on. That was Tom and Jason, and they played against Firehouse D, which is Hambone, and his son Parker, who is just wicked good. Then you look at this game, Bad Religion, that's myself and Pagan against the Maverick Marauders. That was Detroit and Colonel Teff. And this game was a little mismatched. That's because time ran out on the Maverick Marauders, and Bad Religion was able to just run around like madmen on the map. And then you look at Wild West. They got 6 points as the Axis. Mad Moose Disease kind of ran away with that. But you get 10 points for winning. So the day 1 matchups were pretty good. There weren't too many mismatches. The only reason that this one here was so mismatched was because they ran out of time. But, Hambone and his team against Tom and Jason, they had extra time. I think Parker went out and had dinner. Then we move into day 2, which was also pretty eventful, more so than the first. Oh, shoot, before I get into that, I got to tell you a little bit more about day 1. But I'm going to flip this camera around really quick so you can see me tell you the story. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. That's really bright. Let me spin. Just a quick reminder. God dang, that's bright. Ugh. Quick reminder, I don't have my laptop, so I can't see the chat. So don't be, you can type, obviously, but I can't see you. So day 1 was Saturday, and they had started working on the roof of the conference center on Friday. And it was loud and dusty, right? They're scraping stuff up and jackhammering and drilling, whatever they were doing. It was making a mess. All this dust particulate stuff was coming down. At one point on Saturday, I had to go ask them to get a giant fan and start blowing some of the fumes out because it seriously smelled like paint. It was bad. But then a rainstorm came. And Moose Cow Darla, be quiet. Nobody's asking you. You weren't even there, cat. Moose Cow, a sound tech, part of Mad Moose Disease. He lives up in Chicago. He was like, hey, Rob, I hear something. We should probably figure out what this is. And I was like, what's going on? So I walk over, and sure enough, you could hear it hitting the drop ceiling. Rain was coming into the building. And then all of a sudden, ceiling tiles started dripping. Water started dripping. A ceiling tile, I kid you not. Let's see what a good representation. All right, pretend this is a ceiling tile, okay? Now, pretend that I'm Detroit, all right? Detroit, right, from Jersey, all right? Axis and Allies, the Garrison. This is a ceiling tile, and this is a slow-mo recreation. I kid you not, dude. Ceiling tile dropped right in front of the man. He didn't flinch, right, because he's Detroit. But, I mean, it was a mess. So, Saturday was a mess. Everyone seemed to be okay, though. Nobody was really upset. Nothing got damaged. Nobody got hurt. But, you know, as a tournament director, I was like, oh, gosh, dang it. I can't handle this. I can't do this. So, we tried to figure out some other options. And then they actually sent a guy up there in the rain, start patching the roof. It stopped dribbling on us. So, that was kind of nice. But, all in all, that was day one. All right, so day two. Let me get you back to the banner. Camera. Such a neat feature here. Just a quick reminder, I don't have my laptop, so I can't see the chat. So if you're chatting, I apologize. All right, so here we go. Day two. Mad Moose Disease is now the Axis, and they were paired up against the Lieutenant Generals and DeCorpo. This game, I think, got away from them. Got away from the Lieutenant Generals and DeCorpo. Mad Moose Disease steamrolled Moscow. Just boom. As well as the fact that Japan was just extremely dominant most of that game. I distinctly remember walking over to their table, trying to get an update video. And by the way, forgive me for not doing better with that. I only had my phone for the live stream, and it wasn't working with the Wi-Fi. I tried it without the Wi-Fi. It was horrible reception in the area. The videos were crap, and I'm sorry. And there weren't enough of them. So that game was an incredible game. And then Mad Moose Disease walked away with 51 is what I originally wrote, but it was 55. That's my bad. No, I'm sorry. I wrote 55, and it was 51. So they had 51 points. They were the number one seed at the end of day two. We're going to skip this game. Let's go to Midwest Command and Maverick Marauders. So Midwest Command, Jason and Tom, Peleus 13 and Tom, man, they had a heck of a game. These guys had questions upon questions upon questions, and they were just nailing it. They knew how to play. They knew what was up. They were getting it done. And then, similar to day one, Maverick Marauders ran out of time. Wasn't the end of a big to-do, but when Maverick Marauders' time was up, Midwest Command had 3 hours left to play. That's how they racked up 31 Axis points. They got 10 for winning, and then they got 21 points out of the 12 that you need to win. Two Crappy Misfits versus Wild West. So, again, CJ and Greg as the Axis. Man, these guys were just doing great, all right? They have played a lot of G40. They're great guys. They're fun to play with. They've come up to a couple of games that I've had before, and they're just great guys. And I was really glad they were there. And, man, they were doing so great. Wild West was Rich Johnson and my buddy Ray, and they were not as experienced, even in G40 to a certain degree. So Two Crappy Misfits ran away with that. So let's get up to my game. Firehouse D versus Bad Religion. This was not a good day for me. I am going to have to go to the map for this one. And just as a quick reminder, if you're chatting, I don't have my laptop, so I can't see. All right, so I was Japan. And my teammate was Pagan, and he's a solid Germany player, okay? So I'm going to talk you through a few things. I almost had the China point. Okay, I had the Philippines, I had Hong Kong, I had Shanghai, I had Tokyo, right? I had the resource back there. I had the oil down here. Okay, I had a good amount of points. A good Japan player should have maybe 4 or 5. I honestly, if I remember correctly, I had about 6, maybe 7 points. Okay, so I was having a great run as Japan. Japan 8. And it's my fault. Japan 8. I got preoccupied taking out the last Chinese so that I could have the China point. On top of that, I was the tournament director, so I was running around answering questions. On top of that, I was playing some of the best players in the world in Hambone and Parker. And I don't say that lightly either. Pagan and I had this game wrapped up. We had 13 points, but I was distracted. I wasn't thinking clearly. I had a bunch of forces here, no forces here, and no forces here. So what is a British tank in French Indochina going to do? 1, take away the China point. 2, take away Hong Kong. But I'm not done, friends. Empty Philippines. I didn't even put a blocking ship. I didn't land a plane. I didn't do jack-a-diddly squat. And a stupid transport from Australia came up and boom, took another point. I lost us that game. Hands down, unequivocally, I lost us that game. So we lost. All right, great, wonderful. Then we go into the medal round. Actually, we did prizes after day 2. We did prizes. So let me just quickly come back over here to this part of the table. This was a much better background here. Boom. All right, thanks for sticking with me thus far, and it's live. I don't know what you want me to do. I also can't respond to your messages because I can't see them because I don't have a laptop. Prizes. We did prizes on day 2 because after my experience in Atlanta, I thought, you know what, let's try this. If it works, I like it. If it doesn't work, not a big deal. No skin off my nose. It just happens. Prizes. We did prizes on the second night. You didn't get a video of the prizes because I was just super excited to get to the prizes, and here's what some of them were. We had hand-painted pieces from Mr. Scrubbert, who was part of Mad Moose Disease. He was actually at the tournament. He painted up a UK Navy. If you go back to my prize video, he did U.S. infantry and tanks with names on them, for crying out loud. And he did a German Luftwaffe, a set of bombers and attack bombers and fighters. So we had painted pieces from Mr. Scrubbert. We also had painted pieces from Panzer King, who sent us Japanese Air Force, both in the green and the white color scheme. Beautiful. We also had Matt Todd send us a couple of blue Navy aircraft for the Americans. We also had Wolf Den Designs send us some German infantry. There was an Africa Corps troop with shorts on. Friggin' awesome. There was a white trench coat German, obviously for, to put them in Norway. Some of the gray long trench coats, gray fighting combat gear, all that. It was beautiful stuff. And if I forget any prizes, I'm sorry. There were a lot. I'm just so overwhelmed at how much the community pitched in on this event. Detroit helped me out by bringing a couple Axis and Allies miniatures, originals, and a couple Build-em type Axis and Allies tanks. He also helped me out by bringing a clock. I only had 3. He brought 1, so we had 4 clocks for the tournament. So thank you to Detroit for helping out there and for the prize. Colonel Teff also contributed in Axis and Allies miniatures, still in shrink. That was pretty cool. We also had Moffett Field contribute. He sent a calendar of restored planes. I think Hambone won that. It was beautiful. It was great. I'm trying to picture what else we had on the table because there was a lot, guys. Matt Todd also sent a sheet metal, probably about this size, income and research tracker on sublimation printed on steel, which was pretty cool. I'm trying to think because we seriously had so much stuff. We had a BB3 map which went to CJ from Two Crappy Misfits. We have a BB4 map that went to Parker, and I'll tell you a cool story about Parker later. We had Rich Johnson from Combat Miniatures, just over and above. All right. Rich had mugs. Rich had resource markers. Rich had oil barrels. Rich had gift certificates. Rich had cups. Rich had all kinds of stuff. He even made coasters, BBR coasters that said BBR STL21 on them. Those were awesome. They went fast. Those were a hot item. He also made 2 BBR STL Champs mugs and $10 gift certificate to each of the members of the winning team. So that was really cool. So Rich did a lot for us in that, and just over and above. Thank you so much, Rich. We also had from Doug at Combat Miniatures, or not Combat Miniatures. That's Rich. Doug at HBG, historicalboardgaming.com. It's live, and I have youth group tonight, and so my coffee's also over there. Dang it. Doug at HBG, I called him up. I said, hey, Doug, I'm doing this event. I know that you like to help out the community. Here's what I was thinking. What do you think? And he said, after a couple short little conversations over email and one phone call, he goes, you got X amount of dollars. Go shopping. Okay, sweet. So Doug hooked us up. We got gift certificates. We got fuel gauge markers. We got all kinds of stuff from Doug. It was great. Over and above as well. Doug just went over and above. He and Rich both, as businessmen and as men, are just great guys. I want to throw a couple more thank yous out there really quick as we're doing this. My buddy Jake, who contributed to paint, because I had to paint all these pieces. My cousin Tiffany actually also donated some paint to the cause. My wife, who helped me throw all of this together. I know it might not seem like a lot, or maybe it does seem like a lot. It was a lot. And I couldn't have done it without my wife, and so she's never going to watch this video, but you guys know my wife is awesome. And we really couldn't have done it without her. She and I are both planners, but I'm very action-oriented, so I'll plan and do, and oftentimes I miss things because I'm a doer, and I just go, and she's like, wait, did you think about this? And I'll be like, oh, shoot. And so she really helped out. Other prizes. We also had... And we had a lot of prizes. I didn't name them all, did I? I might have named them all. Anyway, gift certificates and all that good stuff. So the BB3 map went to CJ. The BB4 map went to Parker. I did want to say this. Parker was just raking in the prizes, all right? He's not a smug man. He's not. He's not arrogant. He's not proud. He was actually very humble because... watching him on day one play Japan, I was like, dang, I wish I could play Japan that well. And then day two, I did play Japan against him, and he was America, and I smoked his fleet twice, and I got excited because, good dice. It's okay to woo when you get good dice. It's fine. So he's not proud. He's not braggadocious. He's not, oh, yeah, you suck. It's not him at all. But he was raking in the prizes. He really was. And at the end of the thing, because I had a big bowl, right? And I'm shaking up tickets, and I'm pulling them out. Hey, this is prize for this, or whatever. At the end of the thing, my name didn't get pulled at all. And that's okay. I wasn't the only one whose name didn't get pulled. But the one thing I really, really wanted was the BB4 map. Now, there are some changes. This map is not the finalized version. It's actually the first iteration of version 4. But I really wanted it. Like, I put all my tickets into it, I think. And Parker comes up to me afterwards, and he's like, hey, man, I want you to have the map. And I was like, what? Dude, that's your map. You want me to have your map? And he goes, yeah, man, I want you to have it. I was like, dude, you don't have to do that. He goes, I know I don't have to do it, but I want to do it. So here I am sitting here with a beautiful version 4 BBR map. I'm blown away, Dude's super nice. He's a cool cat. And the reason I say it's not the finalized, because Brasilia has changed to Rio de Janeiro, right? There's a couple other changes that he's making, but this is the version 4 map. You got the Spain and the Turkey, right? You've got pro-axis Thailand instead of full-axis Japan-controlled Siam. You've got the Gobi Desert. You've got the meatball there for Japan. I understand why he did it. I do. Historical accuracy. Oh, we've also got the Commonwealth all over the place, right? Right, the Commonwealth. So I did get this sweet map as a prize. It was wonderful. It was very, very kind of him to do that. All right, so this video is super long, but I'm not done. Here we go. So the medal rounds, number 1 and number 2 were Mad Moose Disease and Firehouse D. So they got to play game for the gold. And then in 3rd place was Midwest Bombers, and in 4th place was Bad Religion. But after some conversation with my teammate and, clearing it up through other people, we actually decided to remove ourselves from 4th place because, up here, we shouldn't have had that many points. All right, if they would have had their full clock and we had our full clock, we shouldn't have had that many points. Okay. So we decided, because he and I have been to these events before, we decided that we were going to bump the 5th place team up, and I am so glad that we did. Two Crappy Misfits were now in 4th place, and they actually ended up winning an allied victory for the bronze in their first ever BBR event, in their first ever time touching a BBR map. Guys, I kid you not. They had never, ever touched a BBR map before they got to this event, right? They were playing on a G40 map. All right, they were playing on a G40 map at home, practicing, right? They had the free downloads from the website, siredblood.com/community. They got on the website, they got the cards, they got the setup charts, they did all the stuff, they worked on it, they practiced it, but they had a G40 map. They got 3rd place. It was really cool for me. We missed a lot of guys at this event. G.I. Joe couldn't make it. VK couldn't make it. None of our Canadian friends could make it. Okay, we were missing Sired. He was going to try to come out. At first he was going to come and play, and then he had some family stuff. He was just going to try to come out, and then it ended up not working out. He didn't come out, and that's totally fine. But we were missing a lot of the bigger names, all right, that you see on YouTube, these guys that have these. Matt Todd couldn't make it this time around. So we had these guys that were missing, but we filled in with guys that have YouTube channels, but they don't do anything like posting content. They just like and comment and watch. We have guys that didn't have YouTube channels. Greg and CJ, or I know CJ has a YouTube, and Greg actually does as well. And Peleus13, Jason has one, but Tom didn't have one. But like, these guys don't post content. They came to this event and nobody knew what to expect. They just showed up and they played. It was a great event. It really was a great event. We had a lot of fun. We had good food. We had a good time together. It was just a blast. And so, as I wrap this up again, I don't have my laptop. I can't read your comments. Sorry. I'll read them hopefully when this video posts and I can go back and look at it. Thanks for sticking with me so far, by the way. We are going to do BBR St. Louis again. We are. A few of the guys I've talked to, I brought up maybe doing it in the summer, but I don't want to make it too close to the Atlanta event or to even Grasshoppers event in Canada next year. But I wanted to move it to the summer because one of the guys that attended this year is actually being deployed, and he would be back in time for this event, and he was a huge part of this event, right? His team won gold, and he donated prizes. But his deployment won't be over until early July. So we are going to keep it in March. There will be BBR St. Louis 2022. I'm not sure what to call it, STL 22 or STL 2, because it'll be the second one. But we are going to have another one. And I don't know if we'll be at the same place. Madman from Mad Moose Disease said that we were at the Best Western, because we were at a Best Western. They're working on making it right, though, because there were a lot of issues that we had with them. Kind of the drawback when you go to a place or you have to rent a space to play. Like, we could maybe comfortably get 3 tables in my basement, but then I'd have to kick my family out. My wife doesn't like that. And we're going to have 3 kids under 5, next year. No, my son will be 5. We'll have 3 kids 5 and under by the time St. Louis 2 rolls around. So we're going to have to find another place to go. But that's not going to be a problem, I don't think. Everyone had a blast. Everyone had a good time. It really was a great event. And, yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm done. Thanks for sticking around if you did stick around this long. I'm obviously still cleaning up. You can tell really quickly. I'm still cleaning up. That's full of trash. That caterpillar doesn't belong here, but, my kids, whatever. But, yeah, I'm still cleaning up. I've got stuff to put away. I got all my pieces sorted and put away and hung up on the pegboard. Praise the Lord for that. But, yeah, anyway, I'm still cleaning up and still working on it and still trying to get stuff ready. But that's it. I think that's it. Look forward to more content soon. I'm not sure what to do next. Lieutenant Dan and I still have to finish our game. Fingers crossed I win because, I took London as Germany. And it's Russia 5. Like, we had to take a break because of the tournament. So, but hopefully I'll be able to get stuff set up here and we can start soon unless he has stuff going on. We'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm the chaplain. I'll be praying for you. I'm going to click stop. There we go.